Being the final boss is a big responsibility. They need to give us the most epic fight in the game, so that you feel satisfied when the credits roll. Sometimes the final boss gets overshadowed by one of his minions. Such is the case in this video, where we list 10 sub-bosses that we dig way more than the final boss.
That is crazy. I like this phone.
Vaas is the most memorable bad guy from the Far Cry series. This crazy guy left such an immense impression on us that we were sure he would be the final boss in Far Cry 3. Imagine our surprise when we had to take him down after only a couple of hours.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
The real final boss was a big letdown after the showdown with Vaas. To be fair, those are some pretty big shoes to fill, so we can't blame the guy too much for being lame in comparison.
Can I offer you anything? Would you like some food? A nut, perhaps? No.
Let's hope the main bad guy in Far Cry 5 actually turns out to be the final boss of the game.
Was blind, but now I see.
Shall come win. Shall come win.
The final bosses of the Mortal Kombat series have been very uneven over the years, and that's putting it mildly. We actually listed Shao Kahn as the most unfair boss before, so you can imagine we really like the sub-bosses a lot more. Our favourite penultimate boss has to be Goro from the first Mortal Kombat. He looked so freaky at the time, and beating him was actually doable without breaking your controller in frustration. Don't get us wrong, it was still a difficult fight, but nowhere near the utter madness that Shao Kahn provided. Yeah, we still really hate that guy. Be honest, how many final bosses do you know from the Kirby series? But we bet you do know Meta Knight. The sub-boss shows up in most games and always provides an interesting fight. He's such a mysterious character with his mask, cape and sword. It's about time Nintendo revealed more about Meta Knight's past and true motives. Maybe he will finally fill the role of final boss in the upcoming Kirby game for the Switch. Now that would be some justice. The Big Daddies from BioShock were so iconic that they were over every single piece of marketing material for the game. We can't blame the developers either, because they do look incredible. Luckily, they also gave us truly epic fights when we encountered them during our exploits in Rapture. We just love watching them from a safe distance and planning our attack before all hell breaks loose. We don't need to convince you that they're better than the final boss either. Or did you actually like that naked buff dude at the end? Really?
Then I'm gonna cut you into bits.
Super Mario Bros. 2 is such a wonderfully weird entry in the series. The enemies are all pretty interesting, but we really like Berto. This sub-boss gave us the best fight, and you fight her multiple times throughout the game. Berto is also considered to be the first transgender in gaming. In the manual you can read, he thinks he's a girl, and he spits eggs from his mouth. He'd rather be called Birdetta. Sadly, this confused gamers, and Nintendo decided to scrap this line in later manuals. It's alright, Birdetta. Be true to you.
What are they planning? Chainsaw.
Few games have sub-bosses that actually haunt your memories long after the game's ended. However, thanks to Resident Evil 4, we still jump every time we hear a chainsaw revving up. The Chainsaw Man is a crazy villager with a burlap sack over his head. What makes him so scary is the fact that he can kill you with a single hit. You need to keep moving and hope that he goes down while you unload every single gun you have on him. As much as we like Mother Brain, we have to admit that Ridley might be our favourite boss in the Metroid series. Who doesn't like to take on a huge flying alien dinosaur? The Ridley fights have been consistently good from game to game. It's even a highlight in the otherwise quite mediocre Metroid Other M. Despite his fearsome appearance, Ridley is known to be highly intelligent and is shown to even be capable of speaking in the manga. Yes, there are Metroid manga, and yes, we may have bought one of them for way too much money.
You don't want to do this, Freeze.
Oh, I believe I do. You will bring me Nora, or you will die.
Mr. Freeze is a mini-boss in Batman Arkham City we admire on a gameplay level. What makes the fight great is that this boss learns from his mistakes. You have to ambush him while he slowly hunts you down.
Pay for taking my...
However, no trap will work more than once. This means you have to vary up your attacks and get creative. Mr. Freeze forces you to use all of Batman's gadgets and come up with new tactics to take him down. This encounter is just a whole lot of fun and definitely one of the most satisfying bosses in the entire series.
Don't move. What was that? A Berserker. She can hear us. She can smell us.
Everybody remembers the Berserker sub-boss from Gears of War. This blind but powerful enemy would come running towards you as soon as you made a sound. It makes for one hell of a scary fight, as you need to lure it outside to be able to use the Hammer of Dawn. What is particularly disturbing is the fact that Berserkers are the only females in the Locust army. That means male Locusts have to chase and catch these massive things in order to reproduce. Or try flirting. Good luck with that one. Dark Link has been providing players with interesting fights since he first appeared in Zelda 2. Normally we don't like fighting minor bosses or dark versions of the main character, but Dark Link is the exception. It's awesome to get into an intense sword fight with this guy and a nice break from the more standard dungeon monsters. There's just something special about a man-to-man sword fight to the bitter end. While the sword fight in Zelda doesn't exactly end as brutal as Highlander, it's still really satisfying. What is your favourite mini-boss in gaming? Let us know in the comments and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.